Hi, I'm Christina, and this is a book review of Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kuang. So this is a literary fiction book and it reads most like a thriller novel. It was published in 2023 and this is a very, very popular book. It's had a lot of hype and I was wondering if it was going to live up to the hype, and I have to say it absolutely does. This is brilliant. I really enjoyed it and I gave it 5 stars. So let me tell you a little bit more about the story. Our main character is called June Haywood. She is 27 years old and she's from Philadelphia. Our other main character is called Athena Liu. She is also 27 years old and they met while they were at Yale University together. So their friendship started when they met at university, but it's more of a friendship built on circumstance than any kind of genuine connection between them. So they were both at Yale University, they were living on the same floor in freshman year, they were taking the same classes, they were both interested in becoming writers, obviously both ended up becoming published authors. So they were just kind of in each other's worlds, they were kind of running in the same spheres, but I don't think there's any kind of like true friendship there, at least on June's part. And then in terms of their books, they released their debut novels at a very similar time, and June's book was sold for $10,000 at a somewhat obscure publishing house, whereas Athena's debut novel was sold for 6 figures at Penguin Random House, and it just had huge literary acclaim. Readers absolutely loved it, whereas June's book kind of just disappeared into obscurity. Not many people read it and it didn't even get released in paperback. So these two women are celebrating tonight. They've gone out and they've had drinks together because Athena's book is going to Netflix, which is obviously a huge deal, massive deal for her, and they're just out celebrating her success. And they go back to her flat, her beautiful apartment, and they start making food and they decide to have pancakes, and then tragically Athena dies choking on a piece of pancake. So in that moment, June does all the right things. She tries to stop her choking, she calls an ambulance, she stays with her, she speaks to the ambulance crew, she speaks to the police, but at the same time, she does something completely unforgivable and she steals Athena's manuscript. So one thing about Athena is she doesn't let anybody read her work until she has a completed first draft. That's friends, that's family, that's her agent, her publishers, anyone at all. She is the only person that sees her work until she has a completed first draft. So when June steals this manuscript, she knows that nobody else knows that this exists, and the only person that knew it existed was Athena herself, and obviously she is now dead. So she steals this with the knowledge that nobody knows this is in existence. And then she starts telling herself that she will finish this novel for Athena because she can't let her last work go forgotten, essentially. And then she starts changing little bits, she finishes off certain sentences, she makes some of the wording different, and she kind of polishes it off, and it is just a first draft. So she kind of completes the novel and then changes little things, polishes it, and with the idea that she's helping collaborate and bringing this piece of fiction to life. And the work itself, as she read it, she knew it was going to be a massive hit. She could just tell as she was reading it that this was going to be well received and people were going to really enjoy this novel. And it also kind of pokes fun that every big successful writer eventually writes a war novel, and this is Athena's war novel, essentially. This is the book that she has written, and she just knows people are going to really enjoy this. So essentially she decides to publish it as her own novel. Obviously she could have told people that it was Athena's, and she could have spoken to each of his agents and publishers, and they could have made a collaborative effort, and she doesn't do any of that. She takes it and she publishes it under her own name. And when she tells her agent that she has this book, he is kind of astounded because It's completely different from her previous novel, her debut, and I'm guessing, you know, the writing, the style is quite different, but he really likes it. He knows this is a good book. And she kind of just explains that she's let go of the other things she was working on because she had to focus on this. And he's like, yes, this is brilliant, definitely. And we kind of go forward with this. And at the same time, she starts publishing this book. She decides to change her name under kind of discussions with the publishing house and with her agents. So she's called June Haywood, and that's what she's known as, June Haywood, but her name is actually Juniper Song Haywood, and that's the name that her mother gave her, and I think she went through a little bit of a hippie era, so that's the name she decided to give her child, and obviously going forward she's kind of been known as June Haywood rather than Juniper Song Haywood. But they decide to drop the Haywood and publish under Juniper Song, which is obviously a little bit more racially ambiguous, and she's kind of maybe not claiming to be of ethnic origin, but the name is ambiguous, so people might make their own assumptions. So the book that June steals from Athena is about the contributions of Chinese labourers during World War I. And this is a subject that Athena is really interested in, really passionate about, and she has spent hours and hours and hours researching this subject so that her book will have real historical events underpinning it. And Athena is a Chinese American woman and June is a white American woman. So there are so many themes explored here: theft, plagiarism, the racial implications of that, cultural appropriation. And the book also does a deep dive on the publishing industry as a whole, actually. And it was just so fast paced. It was so interesting. I was so gripped. We follow June and she is the definition of a morally grey character. And we just kind of see her inner workings and all the ways she tries to make what she's doing seem okay. And we just kind of follow her down this slippery slope, and essentially she will always have to defend herself and claim that she wrote this book, even though she didn't and she stole it, because obviously if she admits that, it's all over for her in every single sense. So yeah, it does a deep dive on the publishing industry. It also does a deep dive on kind of social media culture and cancel culture. And it was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. It was just so much fun to read this story. She is an excellent writer. It is really, really gripping. I just wanted to keep flipping those pages all the time. And she just has such a really good way of writing that you just don't want to put the book down. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've given this one 5 stars. It's probably one of my best books of the year so far. I had so much fun reading this story and I can't wait to read more by her. I know she has a new book coming out soon, which I'm looking forward to, and she obviously has a backlog of some pretty big titles as well, which will be nice to read. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video if you've liked it, and please do subscribe if you'd like to hear more of me talking about books. If you have read this book, I would love to know what you thought of it down in the comments below. If you have read any of her other books, definitely know which one you think I should read next. And yeah, this was just a lot of fun, a really, really good book that I just literally could not put down. I just wanted to keep reading it all the time, and I think that kind of thriller aspect is so engaging that, yeah, it was great. All right then, I'll see you in my next one.